The path of the sword is the path of a man who never betrays his vows, never betrays his sword, and never dishonors the way of the sword. Meet 8-year-old Zoro, a boy training to be a swordsman, the best swordsman in his dojo, but no matter what he does, he can't beat his rival, a young girl named Kuina, the strongest student in the dojo, and the daughter of the master of the dojo, Kyoshiro. Kuina, the polar opposite of young Zoro, who after each loss aims to increase his chances of beating her. If one sword isn't enough, let's make it two. If two isn't enough, I'll use three. I will never give up until I beat you. Kuina dreamed of being the strongest swordsman and inheriting her father's dojo, but due to her gender being female, she was never going to get the opportunity to do so because of the old school dojo mindset. This ate away at her. Over time, she began to do anything she could to prove a woman can be equal or better than a man, always training and finding any way of pushing herself to greatness, alongside Zoro motivating her and always challenging her. Sadly, this rivalship and friendship that was pushing both to greatness ended shortly. Kuina passed away. She slipped off the stairs while carrying her sword. That day, Zoro lost a friend, a rival, and someone who had grand aspirations like Zoro and wanted to shift the landscape of the world. Zoro decided to inherit the will of Kuina by inheriting her sword and the aspiration of being the world's strongest swordsman, so that she could experience this living their dreams together. Meet 19-year-old Zoro, now a well-trained young swordsman, one who wants to grab the world and prove his strength. This Zoro is a pirate hunter and now a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, showing his value every opportunity he gets, and his ultimate pride in being a swordsman. This Zoro has been looking for a man. This man is Mihawk, the world's greatest swordsman, and someone who Zoro believes he is more than prepared for and ready to prove himself against. That specific man and win. But that day, that's not what happened. Zoro faced a reality check. That being, he wasn't even close to his dreams. That fight, Mihawk using the smallest size blade he carried humiliated Zoro, showing him the difference and the level it takes to even be considered the world's strongest swordsman. But Zoro didn't lose entirely. That day, Mihawk was impressed with Zoro, his conviction of being a swordsman. His words made Mihawk decide to take out his real sword, and out of respect for Zoro, as a fellow swordsman, battle him with his real sword. Zoro still stood no chance in this fight, and at the very end had nothing left but his swordsman pride, not being able to be cut in the back, a swordsman's shame, but embraced the swing of Mihawk's blade to his front center. This moment, Mihawk decided to let Zoro live because he saw the potential within Zoro, and at that moment, Zoro cried, vowing to never lose again, until he was the world's strongest swordsman, to be the best swordsman, and to be the one who stands with the future Pirate King Monkey D. Luffy.